Alright, hello everybody. Let's look at the game from one of my favorite players, Andersson, who has a lot of positionally beautiful games. Not always the most ambitious player with lots of short draws, but his games are just beautiful to watch sometimes. Here he plays Knaak from Germany in 1974. So what do we get? Knight f3. So this starts as a kind of a ready-ish opening. C4, b6, g3. So we could go many places here. Black fianchettos the bishop. White does the same. Now we have this dynamics going on here. And black takes their central slice there. So I'd say this looks like English to me. I don't always know the difference between where the line between English and theoretic goes. White castles. Black goes for another fianchetto. And white does the same. So we end up with the bishops on both sides. Fianchetto. So lots of bishop dynamics going on. Well, black goes bishop g7. White does likewise. Like at some point, like here, this is the position that Andersson has been on dozens of times on both colors, actually. So he knows this kind of stuff all very well. So after bishop fianchetto, here we get castle. So what can you see? It's complete symmetry. So symmetrical English? I don't know. Knight c3, and now we get something different. No knight c6, keep the symmetry, but knight e4, bang. Again, most like d5 are possible, where I should probably take this way, and then it's gonna, well, net either this bishop's advantage, probably not so great for black, but playable. Or if takes this way, then we can net this, and then, well, let's say it takes with the bishop. At least there is bishop in front of the king has been traded off, so potential weakness on the dark squares. Well, we didn't get d4, 5. We got knight e4 instead. Now white can't really take without black taking here. So white goes queen c2, defense there, avoids the doubled pawn, and black takes, white takes with the bishop, black takes, and white takes with the queen. I guess taking with the d pawn would make some sense in a way that you get a lot of control on the d4, b4, but this is kind of a lot of pawns with not much flexibility on the queen side. Black can probably go d6 and then go this way around. I doubt this is worth it. This looks more healthy. Queen takes. Natural, well, also more normal in a way. Well, black bangs in d5 now. And then we get some dynamics going on with the d4, and, well, whenever I see this, I expect that this is going to happen in some order, and then we have this kind of 4-4 versus 2-2 symmetry with the two open files. Or maybe some, well, not here. I don't know if it makes any sense to show it here, but like at some point like this could happen, like we could get the hanging pawns. Of course here it probably just hangs a pawn. But just to show an example. Black took d4, queen takes, and then bang, d takes c. And white avoids the queen trade. Now takes with the queen. And white has little advantage. His queen is maybe more flexible and the rooks are coming there and the black queen is gonna feel that a little bit. So black played knight c6, white played rook fd1, say hello to the queen. Black dodged out and white went, well, this also probably is a natural way to go, but instead queen f4, where we are eyeing h6 and some cases c7 and like fighting for this file, and the queen there supports the rook entries and hits things around here, so it's actually quite juicy square too. But this is somewhat dangerous too, and not to be underestimated too. Maybe even h4, h5 to boot. Well, black played rook c8, takes care of that square. Already you could see that if they try to challenge the d-file, the queen swings in and then bishop is hanging. Let's say queen drops back and then there, and it's annoying pressure here. Already we are trying maybe to take maybe. Net 2 pieces for a queen, or if rook knight takes, then we chop there. So rook c8, white says let's double up. Rook d2. We wanna put the other rook there and then penetrate via the d7. Alright, so black played king g7, which was probably a little inaccurate. I wanted to, suppose, avoid the queen h6 innovations. This probably was better, even though it's a weakening move in a way that you weaken stuff here. But idea is to play king the e5 here and push the queen around, and then takes away squares from the knight at least. Let's say rook double e5, queen c4. Here king should probably dodge out, and then the queen is a little bit vulnerable to this guy here, so obviously we cannot enter now without dropping somebody. So something like that. King went to g7 and then white doubles, and well, black preemptively dodged out. Again, trying to fight for the file, just runs into chop, queen b8, and then some, well, again, maybe threatening to take, and also threaten the a7, and the queen is very well placed there. So black gets out of the way first, so when the rook enters, we can do something about it and we don't have the bishop hanging. Well, white is no hurry to enter with the rook. First, trades the rooks, or the knights, sorry. We get chop, and then f6. But now the queen is already getting inside here, and reinforcing this and this coming, so even bigger threat here. Here, black took here. But they should have probably played queen f7 here. And, well, queen takes, for instance. King takes, bishop takes. Rook enters here. But this is maybe not the worst endgame in the world. Even though it does look like white is getting everything they wished for. But black can trade pair of rooks. And looks horrible. But then there's also weaknesses in white camps, and at least here black can, like if white takes, then gets the pawn back, and this starts to simplify, and now both rooks are active. And again, if white tries to hold on to this one, we take it, and then we're just in time to hit the b-pawn if white takes there, and at least this is immobilized and this is well placed here. So, well, after queen f7, white should keep the queens on and play on, no trades, even though the endgame looked tempting. In a game after queen e6, black took here. And the problem with this move is that white is not going to take back, but does a little in-betweener here, instantly hitting e7, big threat. Well, in a game, black defended with the rook. Maybe they could have been, well, this is also probably quite sad, but this, the idea that this doesn't win a queen with this guy hanging here, so bang, we can take this one and defends the rook on c8, which is handy. So after rook f7, white should probably just take, and take here and tear up a pawn. And the black king side is definitely weaker than white's counterpart, so something rook c8 stops this. I don't know, queen g4, trying to get centralized and coordinated again. White is definitely on a driver's seat here, probably winning, but it's not easy with just one extra pawn on a king side flank. But I feel like the king's position is gonna be a bit vulnerable too. Maybe we can use the extra pawn to weaken it even further with some kind of push eventually. Alright, so in a game, rook f7 was played, then white took back here. Now we are inside nicely. Well, black tried to go for activity instead of going into a passive defense with rook a8. But this is also quite miserable. Oh, this is really miserable. White just does this and then he goes in, and then things start to really escalate on the 7th rank. It is probably unholdable. In a game, black just let the pawn go and try to at least get something going on. Well, white says thank you. Then they played b5. And after white played e3, so if black went here, I think white takes there. Black takes here. Two connected passers. I don't know, maybe even like just enter here and queen is defending backwards. These are gonna go at some point, but there's still this stuff here and the queen is not even playing. I guess it could try to sneak out somehow like here, but probably like white is gonna say something like, this is probably the cleanest, like just block every entry, and then if you can't get the queen in, there's no worry for king side here. Well, in a game, white took here, black defended the pawn, but then white did the same, and here black just had enough. And this is coming here. Okay, black can play here, but white queen just goes somewhere, like queen d7 for instance. Black should probably say no to trades, but I don't know, we enter there and it's still gonna be miserable. White already has the extra pawn here and he's gonna at some point, well, this is already like one kind of a winning plan. It's just picking up another pawn here. And well, this is well guarded at least, and especially with the queen in front, but it is hopeless. So black just gave up here and said enough. But that was a quick and nifty example where sometimes just one file is enough to win a game. Black could have defended better, but he didn't. It happens. Anyways, thanks for watching, and until next time.